The Only Girl in the Orchestra is a new Netflix documentary short film. What excites me about making this video is that two things. Number one, it wasn't expected because I was going to watch something on Netflix, and then as soon as I log into Netflix, this popped right into my screen, and I said, the fact that it's a Academy Award nominee documentary short, okay, number one. And number two, I'm a fan of short films. It doesn't matter if it's a short film, an animated short film, or a documentary short film. The fact that I saw a documentary short film on Netflix and it has to do with music, I had to do this. I had to watch this. And the fact that it has to do with orchestra, something that I will say that I don't watch too much of orchestra films, documentaries, but there was something about this that I never knew before, and I'm always willing to learn the history of any particular musician or any particular event that has to do with orchestra or music in general. So I had to watch this, and I'm so glad I got to watch it. So this documentary is about Orrin O'Brien. She was the first female musician hired full time by New York Philharmonic in 1966. Something completely different that I never knew about. Yes, I know about New York Philharmonic. I'm from New York, so I've passed by there. I've never gone to an event to see an opera, but it's still in the cards for me. So I'm still considering that. I'm a New Yorker, for crying out loud. I've done everything. I've gone to Broadway plays. I've basically done everything that what a New Yorker is supposed to do. I haven't done that just yet. This documentary is directed and produced by her niece, her name is Molly O'Brien, and she really had to get her aunt out of her comfort zone to shoot this documentary. And Molly, she's in the documentary mostly in the beginning and somewhat towards the end of the documentary, and I just love their scenes together, especially in the part where Orrin is at Molly's apartment, which I'll get into that a little bit later. But this documentary, guys, listen, if you're a person that appreciates music, any kind of music, I say that you have to watch this documentary because you learn so much about Orrin. Orrin, she loves playing the double bass. She enjoys playing alongside with other musicians. She is a person that's very respected by her students, her former and current students. I love the scenes where she's directing her students, and she's the teacher that pushes her students, always critiquing them, constructive criticism, and always brings out the best out of her students. She wants her students to be great at what they do. Orrin, when she joined the orchestra, there was 104 members, and she was the only female there. Orrin, when she joined the New York Philharmonic in 1966, she didn't like the fact that many pictures were snapped at her when she joined the group. Why? Because all of a sudden the focus was on her, and she's not the type of person that likes to be in the limelight. Her father, which is George O'Brien, he was an actor, an Hollywood actor. He got to work with John Ford, and both of them were completely different because her father loved being in the limelight, loved being center of the attention. He didn't mind signing autographs. Orrin was completely different. She likes to be private. She doesn't like to bring attention to her. She didn't like any of that stuff. Orrin, when she was 13, she learned about Beethoven, and she would devour anything and everything that had to do with music. Composers, musicians, anything. She would go to the library and she would read and study everything. By the time she was 16, Um, by the time she was 16, she was already steps ahead. But this all started when she was 13, where she would study Beethoven, she would study all these composers and musicians. The coolest moment of the documentary for me was the surprise retirement party. She retired from the New York Philharmonic after 55 years, and I liked the cake that they made for her, which was her instrument. That was a cool moment. The toughest moment of the documentary was when Oren, she moved out of her apartment because there was just certain parts of the apartment that was getting messy. And she was there for so many years and it was tough for her. And the reason it was tough for her because growing up, she went to 10 different schools in grade schools. And when she had to leave her old apartment where she was living in, it was tough on her because she finally had stability. Something in her young life, she didn't have stability. So those frustrations came from her early life. She also revealed that she watched her parents getting divorced, and music, especially when we're talking about Beethoven, really helped her a lot through a lot of difficult times in her life. I would say that Oren, there was a part, again, this goes back to a scene that she had with her niece um, in towards the end of the documentary. Oren gave me this impression that she has low self-esteem. She feels like she was never good enough. I don't know, that's the kind of impression she gave me, that she has low self-esteem, that she never feels fully satisfied with herself and what she has done. And then you had her niece that tries to champion her, tries to tell her, remind her that look what everything you've overcome, look at everything that you have achieved. And Oren is like, no, no. So I don't know, that's the kind of impression that I got, but regardless, she accomplished a lot. And from the things that she has endured in her life, she's had a successful life and career. So, but definitely, I highly recommend you should check out this documentary. It's called The Only Girl in the Orchestra. My review for this documentary show from 1 through 5, I give it a 4.4 out of 5 stars.